Admirals, this is the Sarcasm Detector coming to you from inside the Genolan Sphere, deep in the Delta Quadrant. As you can see, I have managed to procure myself a Ferengi Nandi Warship, Tier 6. I did this actually on Tribble, where I had a small stockpile of Lobi crystals, which I was able to convert into vouchers. Just a little over 1,000 crystals. And managed to get a early copy of the Nandi. Very beautiful ship. We're going to be taking a look at its visuals in a second. But first, I want to take a tour of its bridge. Welcome to the bridge of my Ferengi Nandi Warship. This is exactly the same bridge that comes with the other Ferengi ships. As you can see, it is a little cramped, which makes for some interesting parties, but let's take a quick tour. As you can see here, the ship is built for Ferengi, so the seats that my officers sit on are not exactly built for humans, so they do look a little uncomfortable. Classic amenities that all ships have. The ship does have a couple of extra things. You can talk to this trader here, which will open up a few extra assignments that are not usually available. Over here we can send and receive mail. There is a Dabo table. You can just talk to Hololita.
Spin the wheel and win.
And here we have a bank and account bank. I believe there should be option to have an exchange here. I'm not sure where to click on that.
Spin the wheel and win.
In any event, this is the bridge of the Nandi. Let's go a little bit more in depth into the ship itself. So here is the Ferengi Nandi Warship Tier 6, which is available in the summer event for 2015. So this is just a build that I have quickly theorized. Hasn't been polished or actually tested out yet. As you can see, the ship is brand spanking new, 0 experience points on it. I've yet to test it out in a flight. But let's take a quick look at its masteries. As a destroyer warship, it comes with accuracy, critical severity, critical chance, and plus all damage, plus all kinetic damage. The mastery trait, however, is fairly interesting. I go more in depth about this trait in the written review. Stats for the ship. quick look at the traits that I have set up for this. Since this is on Tribble, this is actually a old copy of my character. It is actually missing the trait Point Blank Shot, which is available from the second week of House of Peg. I would actually run that trait instead of this one here. So instead of Supremacy, once I actually mastered a trait for this ship, I would use that in this spot here. All hands on deck just makes sense because of all the science abilities that we have on the ship. Critical Severity, Critical Chance. And this actually shouldn't be here. This part here I would leave up to you, either Enhanced Armor Penetration or Advanced Engines. Personally, I would go with the Advanced Engines for the extra flight turn and speed. Of course, auxiliary offense. Running all the active space traits. So this is a reciprocity build. It's the Omega Fa3 Beta tactical team and a copy of chemosite-laced weaponry. For engineering, it is very light on the engineering side, so I've had to make concessions. Emergency power to weapons 2, emergency power to engines. Normally I would run a directed energy modulation. However, I chose to run the engineering team here to just give me a little bit of hull healing and the debuff clear that this has, instead of the 1 or 2k DPS that directed energy modulation would give me. For science abilities, here is where it gets interesting. Running polarized hull, since this is not a cruiser, it is very light on the resistances. A tachyon beam. Of course, Titan's Rift, hazard emitters, and science team for the clear. Just to go back to the masteries, why I'm running both tachyon beam and Titan's Rift. As you can see, they will both eventually get a buff from this trait. Quick look here, Agent Nerul. Damage control engineers to keep the 2 emergency powers running at global or shared cooldown, and 2 development lab scientists to keep science team on a shared cooldown. We could probably switch out Agent Nerul for something else. Let's take a look at some of the different visuals this ship has. So this is currently the Type 4 visualization skin for the ship. She is able to use the hull material that the other Ferengi ships have. counter command shield. This one actually looks very nice on the ship. The Iconian Resistance. It's the Delta Alliance. Here we have the Breen shield. Moving on to the Dyson. Jem'Hadar. The M.A.C.O shield. And the Reman Prototype. Personally, I'm just going with the Iconian set here. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a little bit of a look here. Got 4 of these flow cap consoles, which is obviously to boost the Tachyon, Titan's Rift, and the Plasmonic Leech. As you can see, 3.6 all power settings times 8, that comes up to about 28.8 power levels as they are right now. You can add 48.8 to all systems here, because I am running Supremacy. However, once I do get this mastery trait here, I'll be dumping I will be dumping the supremacy, and we'll have to do a little bit of rebalancing to keep the 4 amps going. Ship does come with one universal console, which can be fit on any of the Ferengi ships. This exotic damage boost is a Category 2 boost, so it is very effective. You combine it with the boost from the Constrictor Anchor, you can have up to a 50% or more boost to exotic damage. When running with the module from the Cora, a little bit of extra torpedo damage, and a little bit extra turn rate. All in all, it is a very nice looking ship, very powerful. Hopefully you enjoyed this overview. If you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe.